So Dave Foy shared this video a couple of hours ago over on X, and it kind of piqued my interest to see exactly what it was. And going to take a look at the video itself. It's kind of interesting. So I want to, first of all, link to the video down below so you can check it out yourself. But also want to go through and show you basically what was covered in that video from my own way, and also give my feedback on what I think of what's being presented here. So quick TLDR, this is Dave on WP or Dave on WordPress, and this is the future of WordPress site editor. Now, Dave is part of the WordPress or Automatic team, and they were basically given free rein to do whatever the heck they wanted with WordPress and sort of just like present those ideas. They weren't going to be absorbed into core or anything. It's kind of like a free-for-all to kind of see where people's heads are at. I hope that some of the features here actually do get absorbed into core, because I think there's a lot to actually like here. Sure, there's still some rough edges and so on, but let me just show you what I'm talking about and why this actually would be quite cool to have it integrated into WordPress core. Now, you can absolutely test this for yourself on the WordPress Playground. I will drop the link down below so you can check it out for yourself. Once you've sort of opened up a test site, you see you get this little intro. We can kind of go through this. It's basically telling you this isn't going to be an end result. This is just kind of like an idea of what could be implemented. But pretty cool. So let's say explore the prototype. So first of all, you'll see the dashboard looks considerably different. Now, this is very much more like we've seen with full site editing, where you've got the navigation down the left-hand side. But we've also opened up a lot more things inside here. You've got this full page preview. And like I say, I'm only going to give you my take on some of the key things. Please do watch the video. It's going to go into other areas which maybe I don't explore in much detail. So check that out if this is of interest to you. But we've got the sort of main area, which obviously we can switch between the different responsive layouts. Save options at the top then to configure this, and it's basically going to show you the homepage. It'll automatically do a few things that generally we have to manually do inside core right now. For example, once you spin up a site, this would automatically create navigation for you. So you wouldn't have an empty navigation block. You'd have at least some basic information in there. It also sets up various other things, but that's by the by. Check out that other video. So down the left-hand side, you can see we've got some basic navigation options. If we jump into pages, for example, instead of just seeing a boring old list of pages, we now have a visual representation of the pages that are part of our site. We can also show drafts if we want to up here by clicking this little option, and you've got some view options here as well, so you can switch between different views. So if you want just a plain old list view, you can do that. So there's various different things here you can kind of do to set it up the way that you want to view it. Personally, I quite like this view, and you can select the pages from here and you can do various different things. So this is quite a nice visual way to be able to see exactly what's going on. And you can come into any of these pages. It tells you what the home page is. You can come into it and you can see there's the page itself ready to start editing. And this kind of shows something else now when you are editing. You can see as we hover over, we get these section options, which can be pulled in from the patterns as well. Now, sections is something that you're kind of used to if you come over from things like Elementor, Bricks, and so on. So if you are accustomed to that terminology, this is going to make a lot of sense. So you can add new sections in. You can choose what kind of section you want to add in. Now, obviously, this is a prototype, so that we're limited on what we can do here, but it gives you a kind of proof of concept. So that, again, is a much nicer way of working. It's more visual. Everything here feels a lot more visual. Come back out of this, go back. You can see now we come into our content, and inside our content, what they're basically doing is it's kind of grouping everything together. Even though things are segmented into posts, products, and so on, content is content, and then it's subcategorized inside that content. So for example, if you come into events, there's your list of events. Come back into your content, go into products, there's your list of products. Same thing goes then if you come into your posts, there's your lists of posts, which you can then obviously jump into and edit. Now, these features are not actually implemented here because, like I say, it is just a demonstration of what could happen. Your navigation menus, you can come in here and there's already a navigation menu set up. But if you want to add menus in, you can add a menu from here, give it a name, or you can come in here and you can see there's your pages or your posts or whatever you kind of want to set up. You can click on the plus and then you can just group select these. So you can say, I want to add all of these in and this one and this one, and then just say add to menu. It's already added in there for you. It's still using a similar concept to what we're used to with the way we would drag and drop things in the kind of older sort of way of working with the navigation, the legacy way. but it's in a more modern way of setting it up. So it's a nice implementation of it. And then obviously you can go through and you can reorder these and you can adjust them and adjust their sort of stacking order and so on. All, nothing you haven't seen here before. You can easily just drag and drop things around here, position them where you want, embed them, indent them, so on and so forth. So again, that's quite nice. Design is very similar to what you already got in full site editing, but what you can do is you can come into this little option down the bottom to customize your navigation, and you can then customize your navigation, funnily enough. So you can easily enable or disable things here. So you may want to have all of your content inside content, disable your pages, for example, click on done, pages is now no longer evident. Come back in, you can reorder these, so you can easily reposition anything you want here. Same here. You can rename this if you want to. You can delete it. There's so many different options here that allow you to customize this setup. Again, once you finish, click on done. And any changes you make, for example, in the design area, again, would show up inside here. Styles and so on, all pretty much exactly the same as what you've seen before. So there's nothing really changed here at all. But overall, this is kind of a lot more in keeping to what we would like to see, and a lot more consistent setup. Now, is it going to be something that rivals some of the other tools that are out there? Not really, no. But what it does do is it at least freshens up and gives a consistent, cohesive look to the dashboard that we're kind of seeing with full site editing and so on. This at least makes you feel like you're inside the same platform. This is definitely much more focused around the user as opposed to maybe someone that's comfortable with WordPress and dipping in and out and creating templates and so on. Those things are still there, but they're being kind of abstracted away from being obvious. For example, if we come into your content and you open up something like your posts, for example, there's templates at the top. Open that up. There's your blog home and your single post, the two kind of key ones that you would be using. So you can see those immediately, but the other ones are still there. You've just got this view all templates, and that will take you in then to all the templates. So it gives you a more straightforward, more user-focused setup. The features are still there. It's organized in what would appear a much more logical fashion where you don't have so many bits and pieces all over the place. Feels a lot more cohesive. The only sad thing is we probably won't see this being absorbed into the core WordPress, which I think is an absolute shame, because when you got people like this and people like Mike McAllister, who isn't part of WordPress itself, but has a lot of really good ideas on how to push forward with various different aspects of WordPress while still retaining that kind of core feel and functionality, they're not getting their work actually implemented. Now, I'm not saying that it's something that could be quick and easy and done in 5 minutes and integrated into core WordPress, but we are seeing such a sort of slow, lazy move forward that when you see things like this and what it could be like, knowing that they're probably not ever going to be in there, or if they are, it's going to be a very watered down, muted version of it, it's a little bit sad and disappointing, because there are people inside and surrounding WordPress with a real passion for the project. They can see what really needs to be put forward to move WordPress forward, and it's not happening. That's my take on it anyway. So while I think there's still room for improvement here, I do think this would be a step in the right direction. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see it implemented, which is a shame. But as always, I pass the question over to you. What do you think of this? Do you think this is a step in the right direction? Or do you just kind of feel that WordPress is just slowly fading and it's not comparative to what we have out there with so many other tools that we see being brought out in the marketplace? Let me know. Have a drop a comment in the comment section down below. If you want to try this out for yourself, drop a link and I will drop a link to the video so you can check that out. As always, my name is Paul C. This is WPTuts, and until next time, take care.